Part 4. Truth, Language, and the Masks We Wear. Alright, buckle up, because now we're diving into some of Nietzsche's most mind-bending ideas. Let's talk about truth. You've probably heard it a million times. Seek the truth. Speak the truth. The truth will set you free. But Nietzsche, he's not buying it. He asks, what if the truth is just another lie we tell ourselves? Truth. A useful illusion. Nietzsche doesn't say truth doesn't exist. He's not saying nothing is real. But he is saying that what we call truth is never objective. It's always wrapped in bias, perspective, and, most importantly, power. Here's the line that cuts through it all. There are no facts, only interpretations. Whoa. Let that sink in. We like to think of knowledge as pure. That if you strip away emotion, culture, religion, you'll end up with some neutral, clean core of truth. Nietzsche's like, nope. Even the truths we think are objective are shaped by who we are, where we come from, what we want. Our truths aren't found. They're built, and sometimes they're built to control. Think about it. Every authority in society claims to have the truth, but behind that claim is always an agenda. The church wants you to behave. The state wants you to obey. Science wants funding. Schools want conformity. Truth, Nietzsche says, isn't sacred, it's strategic. Language. The great trickster. Now it gets even weirder. Nietzsche doesn't just question truth, he questions language itself. Language is how we communicate our truths. But Nietzsche thinks it's deeply flawed. In fact, he says language might be the biggest lie of all. Why? Because words simplify what's complex. They freeze what's moving. They make categories where there were only differences in degree. Take the word, leaf. Seems simple, right? But what about all the different shapes, colors, and conditions of leaves? What about a half-eaten leaf? Or a dried one? Or one that's becoming a leaf? The second we call it a leaf, we've ignored its uniqueness. We've forced it into a box. Every concept originates through our equating what is unequal. And we do this with everything. We don't see the messy, chaotic reality. We see the concept. Not the thing itself, but the word for it. So when we say truth, we're really just talking about a linguistic habit, a shorthand, a mask. Nietzsche calls truth a mobile army of metaphors. The philosopher's job, not to find truth, but to challenge it. This is where Nietzsche turns the role of the philosopher on its head. Most thinkers in history, they're trying to discover truth, to uncover some ultimate law or foundation. Nietzsche, he's like, let's talk about why you want that truth in the first place. What desire is behind that search? What need is driving it? Are you seeking truth, or just looking for comfort? Maybe you want to feel like the world makes sense, that life has meaning, that someone, somewhere is in control. Nietzsche says, that's not philosophy, that's wishful thinking. Real philosophy, the kind of philosophy he's practicing, doesn't seek peace. It seeks trouble. It asks dangerous questions. It takes the comfortable truths we all lean on, and exposes them as scaffolding. Why objectivity is an illusion? Let's talk about objectivity. We're taught to believe that science, reason, and logic lead us to objective truth. But Nietzsche says, be careful. Even science is driven by assumptions, that nature follows laws, that those laws can be measured, that human beings are capable of observing without bias. Nietzsche finds this laughable. What? The human intellect as it really is, divinely objective? Nah. We're messy creatures. Full of ego, instinct, emotion. We never observe without influencing what we observe. So this dream of cold, clinical objectivity? It's another myth. And here's where Nietzsche gets savage. He thinks the people who claim to be the most objective are often the least. Because they don't see their own bias, they've just made it invisible. Perspectivism. Truth has angles, okay, so if objectivity is out, what's left? Nietzsche offers a radical alternative, perspectivism. The idea is simple but powerful. There's no single view from nowhere. There are only perspectives. And the more perspectives we gather, the more we can understand. The more effects we allow to speak about one thing, the more eyes, different eyes, we know how to use to observe one thing, the more complete will our concept of this thing be. In other words, truth isn't one viewpoint, it's a mosaic. And the philosopher, their job isn't to declare what's true, it's to ask, what's missing? Who's not being heard? What other lens can we look through? The masks we wear now, here's the poetic twist. Even Nietzsche admits, he's wearing a mask too. He knows his writing is filled with metaphors, exaggerations, provocations. He's not trying to hide that, he's leaning into it. Because sometimes, a mask reveals more than a face ever could. Truth isn't a naked thing, Nietzsche says. It's layered, symbolic, it speaks through riddles. That's why Nietzsche often sounds like a poet, a prophet, even a madman. He's not giving you a formula, he's unleashing a force. Truth is a woman, and philosophers are awkward lovers. You can't pin her down. You can't conquer her with logic. You can only dance around her, seduce her, play. And in that dance, in that tension between honesty and illusion, maybe we get a glimpse of something real. So Nietzsche doesn't destroy truth. He deconstructs it. He shows us that language simplifies and hides more than it reveals. And he challenges us to be aware of the masks we wear, especially when we're convinced we're being objective.